Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith, and as you know, I'm president of a local club, Heimdal Science Fiction. We featured Heimdal Science Fiction last week on this show. Our club's focus is the sponsorship of 10 charities locally that care for the disadvantaged area. That's our main focus. Our second major focus is on education. We recently sent an Amherst County student to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, which is a huge educational opportunity. My guest tonight is Travis Dean, recipient of Heimdal Science Fiction Space Camp Scholarship. Travis is going to be telling us about his space camp experience. Welcome, Travis. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Yes, glad to be here.
To begin with, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you go to school, you are?
Well, I'm 15 years old, and I go to school at Amherst County High School.
And you live, where do you live?
Vesuvius. It's between Lynchburg and Buena Vista, basically.
You just spent a week at space camp in
Yes.
Huntsville, Alabama, in July.
It was.
Did you have a good time?
It was. It was excellent. I had an excellent time.
Was it everything you expected it to be?
I didn't really know what to expect, but I was more than I thought I would learn. I did more than I thought. It was incredible.
Good. I'm glad. How long did you stay?
I was there from July 5th to July 10th.
So that's what, 6 days altogether?
About that, yeah.
What kind of activities? A lot of people don't know what space camp is.
Yeah.
And it's part of a NASA. It's not just for children. It's not just for teens.
Right.
They have programs for
adults. Yeah.
For adults, because there's a man who donated a flight suit to you, who's 64 years old, and he goes every.
Yeah.
So they have a program for everybody. Plus, some young children can go. They have a parent and child program. What kinds of activities did you do at space camp?
We did a lot of things. Some of the things we did were missions and simulators. For example, one time we went scuba diving to simulate the weightlessness that we'd experience if we were on a spacewalk or just on the space in general. Other times we did lessons that would prepare us for our missions in the mock-ups of the space station or the shuttle or mission control. We also did some experiments. One time we extracted DNA from strawberries just on the International Space Station.
How cool.
Yeah. And another time, there were a lot of teamwork building activities. For example, one time we had a telephone pole. It was 32 feet high. We had to climb up it, and then our teammates would repel us, and we'd have to jump off. So that activity made us trust each other a lot. So stuff like that.
You told me that one exercises you did was to play basketball.
Yes.
Underwater using bowling balls.
Yeah. Well, while we were doing a scuba diving for the weightlessness, bowling balls, because of the weight displacement of the water, they're actually really light, so you can toss them like basketballs almost. We had a hoop set up, and we'd shoot the bowling balls into the hoops, and it was a lot of fun.
That's the strangest thing I've ever heard. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
All right, Travis has brought some pictures with him from his trip, and he's going to tell us about the pictures as Phil puts them up on the monitor for us, and you can watch and narrate.
All right, this was a picture at our rocket building thing. I was working with those 3 people. They were 3 Indians actually from India. They went to New York, then came to the space camp. So it was really cool working with them. This is a picture of some of the mock-ups of the rockets they had there. I'm not quite sure which one, but I think some of the Saturn rockets. This was the outside view of our habitat, which is where we slept during the night, and we went there a couple times to change. This was the bottom of another rocket they had set up, just aboard the shuttle. And I think that this is a group shot of all my team, along with von Tiesenhausen. He's named after. He came and gave a speech on physics. It was a very good speech, I thought. I learned a lot from that. This is a view of our mission control mock-up. You can see the screens and all the all the stuff we had to do. The papers down there were our checklist we had to go through.
You said that you spent some time in here.
Yes, more than a little. This was here's a picture of the mock-up the moon landing we had, along with the flag. And this is one of my favorite photos, actually, is a view of the one of the Saturn rockets, and it's full size, so we took that near its base. I like that picture. And this is me after I jumped off that telephone pole I was telling you about. Yeah.
And you said now your teammates are down there.
Were repelling us. There were 2 poles off to the side, and the ropes went up above me. So
I guess you do have to trust somebody.
yes, yes we did. More rockets that we had there. They would teach us a lot about these rockets. It was part of the training they gave us, the history of the space flight. And this is a full size of the shuttle. The white booster rocket, which is how those would fall away after it got mostly up. The right one is actually a real one that NASA donated and gave them. The left one's fake, but you can't see that one anyway. This is a photo of me in another simulator called the 6 Degrees of Freedom. It would spin you around and basically make you feel like you were falling through free fall. They invented this simulator to give the original Mercury astronauts a way to feel what it like if the computer controls broke down. So they wanted to be able to have a way to control it manually.
Did it make you sick?
Actually, no, it didn't. As opposed to like go around or what? No, because your center of gravity stayed in the same spot. So no, it didn't make any of us sick. Just kind of.
See, those are things that I would never even think about.
Yeah, I thought it would make me sick too, but it didn't.
I would think that being on something like that, a lot of throwing up.
He told us not to close our eyes though, because otherwise the illusion would be destroyed and we'd throw up. So just keep your eyes open. You'll be fine.
Is that oh, here.
Oh yes. This is a photo with me with von Tiesenhausen, the physicist from Germany, came over during World War II and gave that talk.
And you said that he comes. How often does he come?
Once a week.
And teaches classes to space camp kids. I think that's neat.
Yeah, it was really cool. He even autographed a training book.
That's really cool. Are those? I think that's the end of the pictures.
Yeah.
You brought some patches.
Yes. That was a patch that we had made. It's got all of our teammates' last names on it, along with the photo we chose and our team name, Vonson. So.
And then this is another patch.
Another patch that they gave. This patch they gave us when we graduated from the academy.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And over here to my left, I think Phil is going to come out and is a flight suit that was included in your package, your scholarship to space camp. Yeah. I wrote an article in our National Starfleet newspaper about going to space camp and trying to send a student. And a man in California who's a member of Starfleet saw the article and contacted me, and he said, for every student that you send, I will pay for the $80 flight suit. So he paid for this, and all of them had the flight suits, and I just think that that's so neat. As a matter of fact, this man contacted me recently and said, just let me know when the next one's going, and I'll send you $80. Did you know anybody at space camp before you went?
Before I went, I didn't know anybody. By the end of the week, though, we knew everyone, and one of the guys who'd been there a couple of times, he said, by the end of the week, you'll be so sick of everyone. It wasn't quite true. I was sad to see everyone go, but by the time the week was done, I made a lot of friends, and I've kept in touch with some of them.
Good. So it's easy making friends once you get there.
It was there. No one was mean or anything. Everyone wanted to be there, so we all shared a lot of the same interests.
Being in these simulations and having to be dependent on each other, you make
more
friends.
Of a trust building,
And so that's cool.
Yeah.
Tell me when you wore the flight suit.
Well, aside from the pictures that we had to take outside in the very hot middle of Alabama in the middle of summer, we wore it during our missions, simulated missions. We had 4 one-hour missions that we do and 1 6-hour mission. We wore it during that, which we're thankful.